Hey everyone, Adam from Passable Media, and this is my Arrowverse Roundup for Supergirl Season 6, Episode 16, Nightmare in National City. Please make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe if you enjoy the video. So most importantly of all, the best character in Supergirl is back. Lex Luthor is coming home. Whether he actually cares for Nixley or he is, and let's face it, it's more likely, using her and her plans to hurt Kara, who cares? The important thing is that the last few episodes might not suck with our main man Luthor in the house. I'm really hoping that once this show ends, he pops up once in a while on Superman and Lois, assuming they don't commit the absolute sin of killing him off. Kara finally steps back from her job at Catco, deciding to be Supergirl full-time. Honestly, this has been a long time coming, with her showing a clear inability to manage her life as Kara and her life as Supergirl, and with Andrea being a lot less accepting when things don't go her way than when James was in charge, she was really left with little choice. Of course, the argument as to why someone with super speed is ever late for anything is neither here nor there, but she for sure burned a whole lot of professional bridges with how poorly she managed her time in this episode. I'm now even more sure that this is going to end with her announcing her identity to the world and discarding the working life of Kara altogether. I mean, she clearly doesn't need the money because there's no earthly way Kara pays for her apartment with her salary as a journalist. Come to think of it, how does Alex pay for her share of hers and Kelly's apartment, or get custody of Esme when she doesn't have a paying job anymore? Superheroes and finances are weird for everyone that isn't a Wayne or a Queen. So this dome that kept the nightmare creature away from the nuclear power plant, this dome that cut a food truck and a bunch of furniture clean in half, separated families, stopped people getting to their jobs, etc. Are you honestly trying to tell me that the Super Friends aren't being made to answer for the absolute certainty of someone having been maimed or straight up bisected when this thing went up? Truthfully, I'm shocked Alex was so surprised that the governor had an issue with this. Yes, it would be mental that the National Guard were openly fighting the Super Friends while they were trying to save the day, until you remember that last episode they disarmed 2 sovereign nations of their nuclear weapons and disposed of them in the sun. Then this week they sealed off a chunk of a major city with civilians left inside. This being a big no-no was literally a major plot point in the Future State Superman comic. It did not go well for John. And for what it's worth, comic Kara was on the other side of that argument, telling John he was wrong. No, the Super Friends are a menace, and in a better show the United States would be declaring war on them, or the UN would be extending them sanctions. Heck, then Supergirl had the absolute audacity to go on record saying she'd stop Nixley at any cost. Any cost, Kara? And who's paying that cost exactly? Because it seems to literally just be the city and its people. Now, Nia. This is the part of the video where I run the risk of losing some subscribers, so all I ask is that you listen to the whole thing before leaving in droves. Maeve is most certainly not right in what she said to Nia, and all told it was a pretty disgusting thing she said to her sister when she said that Nia wasn't even a real woman. She showed in this episode that she hadn't really learned her lesson either, in that she was quite happy to try and swipe the dream totem up for herself. But as ever with Supergirl playing at politics, we were given a very one-sided take here. Strap yourselves in. First and foremost, from our point of view as viewers and from the point of view of the Super Friends who have only ever known her as a woman, Nia is absolutely a woman. She presents as a woman, she talks like a woman, she acts like a woman. Nothing about her says man in any way. But from Maeve's point of view, someone who both knew her when Nia was a boy, grew up being told that her family's powers are passed down the women in the family, and, it's probably worth noting, had just lost her mother and her birthright in one fell swoop, she was angry, she was left rudderless, and she said in this episode she wanted Nia to hurt. And it certainly doesn't help matters that we, as with Maeve, were lied to about how the powers are transferred, because while Nia is a woman in basically every way that matters, she is not a biological woman, and so the powers simply should not have gone to her. They never said anything about identity or how one feels, it was always meant to be about biology, which made Nia's line that Maeve should never have felt entitled to the powers in the first place fall more than a little flat. In actual fact, the powers would seem to transfer based on identity in a similar manner to the maiden powers in RWBY. Without going off topic too far, and well, spoilers for the most recent season of RWBY, maiden powers are the 4 true forms of magic in the world of Remnant, and they transfer down to a teenage girl the holder is thinking of when they die, or a random one if they're not thinking of one in particular. This season, a sentient robot who appears female but whose aura or soul is actually made of a fragment of her creator's, a man's soul, was able to inherit the powers of one of the maidens. Thus I interpret the Dreamer abilities as working in the same way, just that it was poorly put across by the writers, and it's worth mentioning, very much changed from the comics. Also, not for nothing, but what would the problem have been with, if she could have passed the test, Maeve taking the Dream Totem? Need I remind you that it was Nia selfishly freeing Nyxly from the dream realm that caused this entire issue in the first place, just so that she could selfishly see her mother again? The aim was to stop Nyxly having it, and Maeve is not Nyxly. Would having two dreamers, one with the ability to pass the powers on biologically, who presumably will not be able to, and one by passing on the totem itself, really be a bad thing? Yes, she tried to swipe it out from under Nia's nose, but it was their insistence on arguing that allowed Nyxly to take the totem and win the day when all was said and done. Well, that was a whole thing. Oh, and also, why did destroying the Hope Totem have zero effect on humans as a whole, and why are the Super Friends still talking about Nyxly completing the Allstone? It's impossible now. Okay, this one ran on too long. I've been Adam from Passable Media. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.